Hi everyone, welcome to Jaycees TV. I'm Elizabeth Abshire, your host, and today we're going to be talking to the newly elected 47th President, Holly Gerring-Leone, and she's going to be sharing with us some things she's got planned out for 2022, some upcoming projects, things that are going on with the Wyandotte Jaycees, and why you should think about coming to check us out. Thanks for joining us today, and I'm sitting here with our first guest, current Chapter President of the Wyandotte Jaycees, our 47th President, in fact, Holly Gerring-Leone. Thanks for coming and joining us on the show today, Holly.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the time.
I love it. So, I've got a couple questions for you. I've served as Chapter President before, and I wanted to get your thoughts and feelings on the role. Holly, how do you feel about it so far? We're 2 months in.
This is a planning phase, the first part of the year, and then once the year gets going, it's going to get a little busier. So I'm glad we've had time to kind of structure some of our organization and communication and just learn what the heck I'm doing. They say it's 1 year to serve, and there's a learning curve, and so I'm looking forward to just really helping us continue to figure out our new normal during the pandemic. It's not after.
Yeah. Every president usually has a theme, so tell me about your theme.
My theme is grit, a synonym for resilience, and it is a acronym for generosity, resilience, informed, and team. As in we, the Jaycees, are a generous, resilient, informed team. And I just wanted it to kind of represent what we do, the generosity to each other in the community, strength through adversity, and making intelligent decisions. I'm hoping to do a community needs assessment this year to just make sure what the projects we're doing with the community are what's needed, especially on the other side of the pandemic. And we're a team. We work together, and we just got to support each other.
That's good. I know Wyandotte Jaycees are well known for their haunted house in this area. With a development deal possibly on the table for Old City Hall, what plans do the Wyandotte Jaycees have for haunted house? What's the future look like?
Uncertain, unfortunately. We lost that space, and right now we've had some declining membership, and we do not have enough people to rebuild in another location. So right now that project is paused. We can pick it up again in the future, and we're going to do something else in the Halloween season. It's not fully figured out yet, but I'm looking forward to trying something new, and hopefully we can still have a really good time with it. It's a favorite for a reason. It's a lot of fun.
I know. Haunted house is a big draw, so I hope we can find something to kind of take the place of that. Now, with COVID-19, I know we've mentioned that it's really changed the way the Wyandotte Street Art Fair has looked in both 2020 and 2021. 2020, we didn't even have a street fair. And 2021, there was a street fair, but it looked different. There was no big entertainment area like in the past. So there was no huge Wyandotte beer tent. Instead, we ran a lemonade stand for the city. So what are the plans, do you know, of what we might be doing this summer to work on fundraising? Because I know in the past, the Wyandotte beer tent has raised $15,000 in some years. So with no haunted house and no beer tent, what are the Jaycees looking to do to make up that income?
We are hoping, it sounds like at this point, and things can change of course, that there will be a beer tent and the social district will be open like it was last year. We're still trying to figure out what exactly that means. But having the beer tent, are we sharing with other nonprofits? I'm not really sure what it's going to look like because it's a little different after the couple of year gap. So we're trying to figure that out. And yes, it does fundraise a lot. And we have a lot of community programs that we'd like to channel that money into. So we are looking at one or maybe two supplemental fundraisers instead. If they let us do a lemonade stand, that could definitely help. But yeah, we'll figure it out. It's just about being adaptive.
It's about that grit.
Yes.
Got to figure it out. So I know during the street fair we have run a beautiful baby contest. Is that something that's going to continue? Because there's a big online component to that.
Absolutely. And it's kind of interesting because in 2020 it was only online, and it did not do as well as in the other years where it's hybrid online and the in-person voting booth that is at the Wyandotte Street Fair. And I really think a lot of it's just community and being able to see everyone in person, just that extra reminder that, hey, Jaycees are still here, we're still showing up, and we still are fundraising to give back to the community. So that will absolutely still happen, and I chaired it for the first time last year, and I'm looking forward to helping out again this year.
Speaking of you chaired it, that was an award-winning project, wasn't it, for last year? I believe there was an award at the Michigan Jaycees state level.
There was for the second half of the year. The state of Michigan Jaycees does a special project entry. And so we submitted the paperwork for what we did, and we won that, and then the year around. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. Although I do have to credit Megan Jailbert for giving me her materials and having it so well organized.
You guys both run a really well organized, beautiful baby contest. Let me tell you, I've been around, and you both did a very good job on it.
So. Good to hear. There's a lot of ways to go wrong.
Yeah, that's a big project. So what are some goals you have for 2022 during your 1 year to lead?
My goals are, the internal main goal is communication and making sure our members know that we're still here, and just making sure that they know about the resources that the Jaycees offer, because we've all been isolated and projects have not been running as usual. So just making sure we are communicating with everyone internally, our members, and then externally, working with the other local nonprofits. Councilwoman Kelly Steck has done a really great job organizing meetings for the nonprofits, and just helping work together and collaborate, because Jaycees are not the only ones with declining members. It's something, unfortunately, all nonprofits, everyone's tired and stressed. Right. So just being able to support each other is a big deal.
Yeah, that really makes a difference, the support. So what are some leadership opportunities, some leadership development opportunities people can find in the Jaycees?
It could be almost anything. If you want to run a project for the first time, you could do that. It's been done before. There's a 5K that is done, raises money for the veterans, that started as a Jaycee project, and now it's its own nonprofit. It is great. There are quite a few trainings through the state and at the Wyandotte level, just on really resume and taxes. If you're looking to expand your skill set, that's a big deal. And then one of my favorites is the competitions at the state level. And there are a few different categories. One of them is public speaking, another one is a prepared write-up. And so, professionally, if you don't love talking in front of an audience, hello, that's me, then that's a really great way to practice those skills in a safe environment. Nobody is gonna, fire you if you don't do well at that presentation. It's practice. So, there's a lot of really great ways to really expand your skill set in the Jaycees.
Speaking of the competitions, I believe I read the award-winning submission for prepared write-up. You won, didn't you, at the state?
I did. I love writing, and I took the easy way in starting competitions, and I leaned on my strength of writing, and so I had a lot of fun writing about how the Wyandotte Jaycees change the world. In a very condensed version, it's that we don't know if we're changing the world, but we can change one person's world at a time. And so every person we touch within our organization, every community member we help through the family assistance around the holidays, or the senior spaghetti dinner, it makes a difference. So
I love it. So question, are you going to push your comfort zone and enter a speaking competition?
I am. I've told myself no more writing competitions until I can do that.
So are you a prepared speak up or an impromptu speak up?
Oh, I think I have to start with prepared, going slow.
Going slow.
Impromptu, I feel like, is jumping into the deep end. I like to be prepared.
It's a lot of fun. I've won that one.
Oh,
Impromptu.
cool.
Impromptu is my game.
Fantastic.
Yep. So what do you see as the community impact of the Jaycees? I know you talked about you can't change the whole world, but you can change one person's world at a time. So what's our community impact?
So some of our bigger projects that we do regularly throughout the year, the senior spaghetti dinner, just reminding our seniors that they are not alone and we care about them, and the holiday assistance, where we take applications for families in need, and you can applicate your own family for having a rough year, or you can nominate another family. And those are just really great projects. And we've been traditionally done something around Easter, an Easter egg hunt. I'm not sure what this year looks like exactly with COVID, but just things to help get the community together and give them assistance. And I'm really looking forward to doing a community needs assessment and kind of reevaluate that. Do we need an Easter egg hunt? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see what everyone says.
Okay, you mentioned senior spaghetti dinner, Holly. What is senior spaghetti dinner, and how do people sign up for that?
Free spaghetti. And if you are a senior in Wyandotte, you are welcome. And this year, because of COVID, it's going to be a little bit different. Normally, it would be, we have spaghetti, you come into the Copeland Center, and you get your spaghetti, and then there's usually cards on the tables, and you can enjoy and kind of socialize, and it's nice. And we usually do it February or March, so coldest part of the year, so it's a nice way to kind of get out. But because of COVID concerns, it's a takeout only event. And so it's by sign up. So there's going to be a sign up at the Copeland, and then there's an online way to sign up. Information is on our Facebook page and on the website. And however many people sign up, we'll make sure we prepare the dinners for it. It'll be in takeout containers, and then there'll be a pickup time, and that is what this year will be.
Okay, sounds pretty good. All
Did
right.
I mention the date? Sorry.
I don't think we did.
That's
What is
important.
the date?
It is Sunday, March 20th.
Sunday, March 20th. As time?
Pickup is going to be 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
1 to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, stick around, folks. We'll be back asking Holly a few more questions right after this. Welcome back, guys. We're sitting here with Holly Gerring-Leone, the 47th president of the Wyandotte Jaycees, and we're going to find out a little more about Holly and what she enjoys. So Holly, I noticed, and I happen to have a little inside information because Holly was my neighbor. I don't know if you guys knew that. You wouldn't have. For many years, she still is over there. My mom still lives next door. But I know you went to for your master's degree down in New Orleans. I noticed the necklace.
Oh, yes, the fleur-de-lis.
The fleur-de-lis.
I made sure I did not leave there without one because it's the symbol of the city and strength and, dare I say, grit and resilience, my theme.
I love that. So what is your degree in? What is your master's in?
It's in public health, with an emphasis on most people in public health epidemiology, so the study of diseases, very important with the pandemic happening.
That seems very relevant.
But I did environmental health, and I think growing up in Michigan had a huge influence just on just enjoying our environment and knowing that air quality does affect our health and wanting to learn a little bit more about the importance of that. So,
okay. What was your favorite thing to do down in New Orleans?
Probably walk around the French Quarter. I actually live not that far from it, but during the daytime, there are fewer intoxicated people, and it's a beautiful area. So,
gotta be honest, I went down to New Orleans with my husband. We'd both recovered from COVID, and we went. And the city was barely open. My favorite time, I don't think I would like it during regular times, I think the streets would be too packed. And
it gets nuts.
yeah,
They're small streets.
they're
I mean, it
small
was built a long
streets.
time ago.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine. Like, I've seen videos now before COVID and the shoulder-to-shoulder people, and I'll tell Sean, I'm so glad we came when we did, because I actually got to enjoy walking around, and it was much better. It was a fun place to visit. So what project have you enjoyed most since becoming a Jaycee?
It's hard because I love everything community related. And also I joined at the end of 2019, so I never got to see some projects in their full, capacity. I have not worked the beer tent. I have not worked an Easter egg hunt because of COVID. So the favorites that I've done, senior spaghetti dinner and our holiday assistance projects. I'm all about that community.
All about the community. Tell us about the holiday assistance programs. What are those for people who don't know?
So at Thanksgiving and Christmas, we open up applications, and if you are a family in need, or if you know a family in need, could be neighbor, family member, you apply, and then we go through the applications, and the ones with the most need, we pick based on our budget. And Thanksgiving, sometimes we do a basket full of food for those families. Last year we did gift certificates for food at a store. And then Christmas, a lot of the time the focus has been on gifts for the children in the families with need. And we partner with Toys for Tots. They've been a huge help over the years. And we make sure we give those kids a really great Christmas. So it's really great to meet people doing great work. And the families themselves, like, everyone's trying so hard, and everyone needs help every once in a while, so it's great to lend a hand.
That's good. So what other causes are you passionate about? I don't think the Jaycees, that's not your first experience with volunteer work. You were in AmeriCorps, correct?
Yes, I was. And AmeriCorps, there's quite a few programs. I did their NCCC FEMA Corps program, so I went to disasters, and with FEMA helped with public assistance. So if there was a huge snowstorm that overwhelmed our ability to clear everything, and the city would literally go bankrupt trying to pay for all of it and repairing the damage, and FEMA's called in, I was the one who helped meet with those officials and reports and everything. But we also did a lot of other weekend projects, trail building type stuff. And just, there's nothing I love more than being around other people trying to make the world a better place. And so I get that with the Jaycees too. And you get to do things you never thought you would do otherwise. So it's a great way to grow and just enjoy life.
That's good. So I know the Jaycees have state conferences, and you've been to some of those because you talked about the competitions and submitting, and that's where you would find those things, at the state competitions and also the national competitions. And I do really hope you keep going and go to the national level. Tell us about a state conference. What do the Jaycees do at their state conferences?
Usually there's two major components. There's the training component, and then there's the awards component. So trainings, I've only been to two. You would probably know a little bit more about some of the trainings. But we did one actually on Narcan training at the last one, which, for those who don't know, is a life-saving drug for those who overdose on opioids. And just, like, my public health background, I know about it, but nobody taught me how to administer it or given me a kit where if there was that type of emergency. It's kind of expensive and not super accessible all the time. So that kind of thing. Sometimes just how to do your job at the local level. President's trainings can happen there at conferences. So training, and then awards, where folks who submit for competitions and projects like the Beautiful Baby contest. And then activities we do as a chapter. There's contests for making sure we're doing events with our members in the community, and there's a point system, and so you can kind of get a little competitive, but also just network with the other chapters in Michigan and get to learn ideas from them.
A whole bunch of people doing great things, changing the world. So what do you do in your free time, like other than all the volunteering?
I was joking with my husband earlier that when I saw that question, I was like, what do I do in my free time? Jaycees. But I also really love hiking and enjoying nature and birding. So you want to know about birds? I know a little.
I'm still looking for the plain chakalaka. I saw the flamboyant chakalaka in a book, and I'm wondering if there's a plain chakalaka.
There might be, not common in Michigan.
Not going to find it here.
I don't think so.
Is it
Maybe
somewhere
it's
warm?
possible.
Maybe we can go find it in the Bahamas?
Let's do it.
It's going to be snowing tonight. We got to do something. Okay, I know you mentioned earlier Easter egg hunt. So the Wyandotte Jaycees run Easter egg hunt. What's happening with that this year?
So, just earlier this week, actually, we had, as a board, I had talked about what is that going to look like with fewer members, knowing we want to run a community needs assessment. And so we are scaling back this year so we have enough energy to focus on other projects. And instead of the Easter egg hunt, we will not have that component, but we will have an Easter egg bunny. That's not a thing. The Easter bunny, well, there might be some eggs around.
Right.
But the Easter bunny to take pictures with in the log cabin of the at Bishop Park. So that will still happen, but unfortunately the Easter egg hunt, with not knowing how much we're going to be able to fundraise this year, with beer tent being a question mark, haunted house having to be a completely different fundraiser where we don't know what's going to happen, we had to scale back, unfortunately. But, things are constantly changing. Next year, we could be a whole totally different story. So that's just what's happening right now.
Resilience. You got to keep going. There's that grit. So who is this organization for? Who should be joining the Jaycees?
So it used to be 21 to 40-year-olds, but the state just aligned the minimum age with the national minimum age. And so if you are 18 up to 40, you are eligible to join. If you want to work on leadership skills, if you want to make an impact in the community, come to one of our general member meetings. They're the second Tuesday of every month at 7:30 p.m. at the Copeland Center, and come get to know us and help out because we need you.
There you go. Is there anything else that you'd like to do in the community this year? Any other new project ideas you might have?
Personally, I would love to see something centered around health. We're in a pandemic, maybe even mental health. We're all struggling. And or maybe our schools. I know teachers have been having a really hard time. But again, that community needs assessment, we're going to use the results of that to drive where we go from here. So I'm really excited to talk to our officials throughout the city and get the community's input and do something really great.
Well, sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. Sounds like it's going to be a great year. I thank you for coming on with me, Holly, and telling us about 2022 and your plans for it and sharing a little bit about you. We love hearing more about what you've got going on. So thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us today on this episode of Jaycees TV. I'd like to thank Holly Gerring-Leone for joining me today and having a little conversation about things she's got planned out for the year and the upcoming projects. I'd like to encourage everyone to come out to the Wyandotte Jaycees General Membership Meeting. If you're between the ages of 18 and 40, come check us out. We meet the second Tuesday of every month at the Copeland Center in Wyandotte. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next time.